Turn the lights back on. Wow. Retro Electro Tech. When real audio ruled the world.
Hello again, this is Ernest with Retro Electro Tech, and on the bench is another 70s era German-made Hohner Bass 3 piano that came to me with a contact issue involving this switch here. It turns out it needed to be flushed a few times with some contact cleaner and worked repeatedly. I also did that with all the other switches and potentiometers, and that seemed to resolve the problem thus far. Additionally, the customer wanted me to go through the unit, function test everything, and ultimately give it a clean bill of health. As always, I gave it a thorough look over and kept it powered up on my isolation transformer and current limiter for, I would say, a good half hour or so before the unit ended up losing power. As I was probing around, checking for voltage and manipulating, moving around this very thin circuit board here, I noticed it would regain power when the board would flex just a bit. So, I suspected a bad solder joint and or trace. That being the case, I did locate an issue that does involve a bad solder joint. Now, I have this board under some magnification, so let me point out the problem. Okay, this lead here, which is from the power/volume pot, is not properly soldered in place. And obviously during movement of the board it exhibits intermittent behavior. Okay, let me demonstrate that problem with the bad solder joint. I'm going to start moving around the board while I hit some notes and it'll become pretty obvious. Okay, right now I have sound obviously when I move the board around. Okay, I'll just kind of move it around, cutting out. Okay, so there's a problem. Okay, now let's get a quick spot of solder on that bad joint. I cleaned up the pad. I'm going to drop a little flux here. Okay. Okay, this isn't the tip I'd normally use on this iron, but I'm not going to change it just for this. So let's go ahead and get in there and... Okay, good. Now let me get that cleaned up. Let's get this looking pretty. Get all that flux off of there. Okay, so everything's working now, so play that funky music, white girl. Okay, so there you have it. All I need to do now is get this little gem cleaned up and returned back to its human. Otherwise, thank you for checking out Retro Electro Tech. Until next time, peace, love, rock and roll, and vintage audio.
This is a poor man's shoe production.